If you saw the end of the last episode, you know we had to pause our VRS install and review. Let me take you down and show you why. It's a boo-boo. It's a big boo-boo. So, we've developed a little bit of an oil drip. I'll show you why. See that K-member? I was lowering the truck down. Jack slid right off, went right there. Gravity won, so we need to undo that. Since I don't know how long this is gonna be parked, and I literally just went to the gas station, as y'all saw, I think I'm gonna put some insurance in the gas tank so it doesn't go bad. Hopefully we're back to it before this becomes a problem. This is a 19-gallon gas tank, so we're gonna call it 20. So it takes 1 ounce per every 5 according to the instructions. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And hopefully that'll make it where it starts when we are able to put it back on the road. And after we get this dent out of that pan. Put the cap back on. And now, regardless of how long it takes me to get parts or get this fixed, I don't have to worry about bad gas on top of already having that screw up. So, good stuff. After I'd calmed down after dropping the truck on the jack, you know, it was an accident. I made a phone call to Blueprint Engines and I talked to their customer service. Tuan, T-U-A-N, very nice man. He got me in touch with the tech department at Blueprint Engines. I wanted to get the make and model of their oil pan. Not only was he able to give me the make and model, he was also able to get me a new pickup tube and a gasket. And I just want to say, time out here. I've been in customer service, spent a decade in it, in healthcare, customer service facing. It's a really hard business. These guys were fantastic. Not only did they warranty this, yeah, warranty. No, warranty. Yeah, that word. A company that actually stands behind their product. They warrantied out the pan, sent me the pickup tube and the gasket. I ordered the oil and the filter and more of the sealing supplies. Just blown away by that. I don't want to forget to thank Jake as well in the tech department at Blueprint Engines. He was straight up, very knowledgeable. And thanks to Tuan and Jake, I had a great experience and I greatly appreciated their help with getting this back together. And with their help, means I can get this back on the road. It's incredible. Thank you guys. I want to start undoing my boo-boo. I want to get this sanded and painted. We can put some new decals back on it, have it looking back and spiffy. And when we get it off, we'll figure out how to do that part. I don't know, we'll make it up as we go. So let's get that out there, sandy sand, clean up, make orange. Let's go. It's gonna need a few coats and it's really windy. Had a nice run right there. We'll let it dry, put some more on it. So next, let's disconnect the battery and maybe drain the oil. So I already turned it off. I need a 1/2-inch wrench. I don't know how long it's going to take to dry. It's only 55 degrees right now. Pro tip, take the drain out. Look how clean this is. Open that. Now we can take that under. Don't lose this. This is not how I wanted to change the oil, but it looks like it's time. No shiny stuff, so that's good. Don't lose that. I'd very much like to be verifying that VRS tune that I put into that carburetor, because that thing is sweet. But nope, we're doing this. How we doing? All right. Now we'll come around and we'll work on the starter and getting that out. ADHD is real. In a previous episode, we also installed this remote drain. I want to know, because it's been a second. That is water from the catch can. Go ahead and drain that while we're here. Wow, that humidity in the summer. Oh no, it's not summer yet. It's just winter. That was a lot of water. That was a good amount of water. Do you really want that going down your intake? I know it's from steam and condensation, but that is from winter. That is not from summer. We have not had this in the summer. I bet in the summer this thing definitely pulls some condensation out, because we live in Tennessee and the relative humidity here is quite high in the summer. Cool. Back to finding the correct sizes, and then we can get this out of the way. A little bit more working room. All right, let's see if you guys can see here. In episode 19, we installed this starter. Let me go ahead and take this heat shield off. That thing, I gotta get you all set up. I need 2 hands. This is gonna be as we go. Anyway, episode, I think 19 or 18, we installed this. I'll put it down in the dew. And I've gotta take the wires off. These are really up in there. And I gotta take the positive off. Part of the reason we unhooked the battery is if you unhook this and it grounds to the frame, you can weld. And that would be bad. All right, so that one's tiny. Let's see if that's 1/4 inch or smaller. All right, let me show you what I'm trying to get. See how this guy, the purple wire, went to there. I need to get this big wire off that goes up to the positive on the battery. And this red one also, I think, is on the same one. We'll see how we do. I'm winging it, guys. All right, I lost the washer. Cool, this is out of the way. All right, starter's out of the way. It's right there. Let's go check out our paint. And I think we're out of time for the day. It's time to go cook dinner. We're probably gonna do another coat tomorrow. That's pretty good. Got a few runs. It ran like Forrest on the back, but not too bad. Spring is in the air, 2 strokes are wailing away. I'm sure a B&A plane's gonna fly over at any time. You guys, you have a good night. We'll do more later. It's a chilly spring day. Let's get hat, carb, lifting plate on there, get the fuel out of there, put that in storage. Got that, touched it up with a little bit more orange. Not the biggest fan of this paint because it's not laying down super well. But that Thunder Pumpkin's orange and it matches what's in there. So let's keep working. Let's get that carb off. Options. We can use a universal lifting plate like this one from Summit. Does the job, rated for 1,000 pounds. I got something with a little bit more oomph to it. Let me grab it. I don't know how many of y'all saw when we installed the motor, we used this guy. This thing is snazzy. It goes on, sits right there, gives us all kind of control. And yeah, once you use it, you don't ever want to use one of the universal plates again. So be warned. Anyway, 5/16 18th thread with washers. We're gonna get this on here. I did put some tape over this because we've already had one accident. We're not trying to make any more. And now the next thing I need to do is pull the bolts out of the engine mounts. Or at least loosen them up. We can do that. Maybe we'll do that today. Tip. If you're gonna use this for lifting, do not leave these bolts loose. Tighten them down. They don't have to be like super snug, but you know, 25 foot-pounds, 20 foot-pounds, somewhere in there, you know, more than. Finger tight so there's no slop. If there's slop, it creates an opportunity for this to put a torque or a load on this and tear up the threads. And remember, aluminum, steel. Aluminum will let go long before steel. Anyway, let's put this last bolt in. All right, so next, when we get the crane here, we'll undo the motor mount bolt, and we'll loosen up the transmission bolt. And that should give us enough pivot, but I'm looking here. I'm gonna pull the fans off. They're pretty tucked in there, and I wanna give this as much room as it can as it comes up and down, just in case, because these work good. So let's get the fans out of the way. I don't know if it recorded it, but we got the fans out of the way so that we're not crashing into that just in case. Next item, let's get this bolt out of the dipstick, and I hope the amount of anti-seize I put on that pays dividends. We need a big ratchet, and we have to do this with some finesse. All right, say it with me, guys. The power of Permatex, please have done your thing. Please don't be fully stuck. Oh. And it's heat treated in stainless. Stainless into aluminum. Anti-seize, it's good stuff. Or it just ripped all the threads out. We'll see in a second. Hopefully it didn't rip all the threads out. I don't think it did. Look at this. Why you put anti-seize on stainless into aluminum. We will re-anti-seize this and put this back. But this needs to come out. And the O-ring's still on it? Cool. Go back to one of our first episodes when I thought I'd drop that in the oil pan and ended up dropping a part of a plastic pick in there. Y'all might enjoy that episode. I'll give you a preview of what's inside the big block. And so I don't lose that bolt. It is loosely put in here. Not in, but loose. That's pretty cool. Anti-seize, stainless, aluminum. And that gets heat, like that gets all the heat from the exhaust. That's impressive. Anyway, I think that's it for tonight. Let's go down and let's start getting the motor mount bolts out. All right, we need to go up in there and on the front side. Let's see if my arms fit. Driver's side. That bolt definitely isn't coming out by itself, so let's go over the passenger side. Do the same thing. All right, let's come over here. Cool. All right, don't lose these. There's no way to get that bolt out until we take the weight of the motor off the motor mounts. Handy little guys. I am not a smart man. I never claimed to be. But I will admit, this is a good oops. Need to get these jack stands further back up on the frame so there's room for this thing's feet underneath it here, and then we're going to pick her up. We've already got the bolts out of the engine, or the nuts off the engine mount. We got to take the weight off the perches to be able to pull the bolt out. So a little gun shy to pull this thing out and use it after the little squishing. Let me show you what we do when we pick this up. Lower this down. Stop, don't go all the way. I try to catch the front of the K member right here, because it's a nice solid place to pick the truck up. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna put you down. I'm gonna jack this thing up, get these guys, move them further back. All right, but now we got plenty of room. We should be able to get the crane over in here. And because we're not lifting it out, there's no real need for the garage clearance, so let's bring the crane in. Put a little bit of lift love on it here. Anything moving? Let's try not to smash. Let's go look around. I think we're still very much in all the places. Oh, I know what we forgot to do. We need to go loosen the transmission bolt. Let's lower that back down. And go lower the... Yeah, we're gonna need a lot more room than that. So, what I forgot, and I don't remember what size it is, so we're gonna take these. And this. Oh, there's all my sockets. Okay. Transmission bolt. Or at least the mount. This one right here. We need to loosen those before we lift. It felt bigger than that. Where'd it go? Which one was it? That one. All right. Hooray! That is not a long bolt. You watch this gap right here. Let me know if it changes. So you're saying the whole truck moved, which, all right, that's fun. How much room do we got back here? Some. How are we looking over there? So we're not off the mount yet, because we need a few inches to be able to drop that pan down to clear the crank. And this thing's got some really big counterweights, so I think we're gonna need every inch we can get. Oh yeah. All right, I'm afraid to go any more than that. Make sure this is locked. Take that out. Do not touch. Now this is dangerous now. I do not want to get pinched in between anything, so I am going to be very cautious with this next part. We have it off the pedestals. What are those called? Perches. Yeah, it's off the perches. So now I need to go around on each side and start taking pan bolts out. This job requires headphones. Pick a good playlist and we're just gonna get after it. So 1/2 inch, that guy. Come with me. Let's get to work. All right, we'll keep working our way around. Got a few more in the back, and then we'll figure out how to pry it off. All right, if my math is correct, last one. Now, for the next very special tool, we got to break the seal between the engine and the oil pan. Let's see. Come on. Come to Papa. Okay. All right, I gotta raise this up a little bit more to get this to clear the connecting rods and counterweights, but we're so close. All right. Ginger carefully. Just a little more. It's kind of the limit. Let's see. How much room do we got this way? Barely, barely. Ooh, hold on. Oh my goodness. Success. Woo! It doesn't look better from this angle either. Should be, but I did. It definitely got the pickup tube. Let me take you down with the good camera and show you what that looks like, because it's a sight to behold. I have every light in the house I can find to light this for you guys. All right. So the pickup tube, as you can tell, it's kind of cocked up there a little bit. And it should be like, let's see if I can get this correct. It should be in here like this. So we might be dropping the oil pump because there's a weld on it, because Blueprint did this really well. Where the pickup tube goes into the pump, I don't know how well I could show this, but there's a weld right here. Just a little tack weld to ensure that these never fall out. Good job, Blueprint, by the way. I think our crank, connecting rods, and internal rotating assembly is okay. I'm gonna do some reading on pulling that oil pump off, and I'll have to go look up specs on how to put it back together. We might be priming the motor again and pulling the distributor. I got some research to do. But anyway, there's all the connecting rods, the crank, all happy and good. I'm really thrilled that pan is off, but woo-wee, that is a chore, boys, to get that off. All right, so that's all we're gonna do tonight. We're gonna clean up a little bit. I gotta go figure out the proper way to remove the old one and put this one in where it doesn't move. And then maybe, yeah, I'm gonna have to do some reading. I got some research to do. That night, after doing a considerable amount of research on the internet and knowing the rotating assembly was okay, I slept incredibly hard. The next day, I concentrated on continuing my disassembly. All right, how are we gonna do this? Okay. So spacer, plate, and now oil pump. This is the shaft. Don't want to lose that or drop it on the dirty ground, but you know. Anyway, this is the pump that pumps the oil. That shaft goes up into the bottom of the distributor, and yeah, let's go get this where it's not making a mess, because it's got oil in it and it is now on the floor. Go me. Here we go. All right, we got it over here on the bench. I'm looking at this weld right here and right here. They tacked it in two places. And if you look, one of these does not look like the other. It's all crinkled there in the scoop, and this pipe is kinked. So yeah, this gotta come off. We're gonna have to get a grinder, grind that, and then that. Gonna have to get something to cover that, and that, and that. Let me figure that out, and then let's get a grinder. If you think I'm making this up as I go willy-nilly, I am. Got a microfiber cloth wrapped around it with some rubber bands. I'm gonna try and get the big part of the weld off and see how it goes. Here we go. This will work. I wanna change this flap disc to a fresh one because I need a more defined edge to get around there. Let me do that. Okay. So, highly recommend welding pickup tubes because, man, it works. I have to say, that's a first. I've never had to do that to get one of those out. Never do this in a vise, is what the Melling video on Summit said. Got some burrs on here. This is why I didn't want to use the vice grips. But we're gonna install this and then we're gonna look at our pan depth. Anyway, we're making this up as we go. Let's measure our pan depth. Put the gasket on it, put a straight edge across it, get a tape measure. Don't move. I'm gonna call that 8 3/4. Eight and 3/4. And we need the pickup tube somewhere between 1/4 and a 1/2 inch off the bottom. So anywhere between 8.5 to 8 1/4 is what we're aiming for our pickup depth. So now we're gonna go under the truck, install the pump, but not torque it or anything like that, and just see where it is and how we're gonna measure that, I don't know. And if we have to, we'll go get a piece of clay and stick it in there and make sure we're good. So, all right, under the truck. Knowing I needed these critical measurements to work, I set about trying to measure things in space. It didn't go well. So I came up with something. All right, we got a precision cardboard gauge. Let's see what we can do here. This is the pan depth. And yeah, that's what I thought. Let's hold that, tilt that up that way. Let's see. So we have our push that way. Let's take a measurement there. Okay. There. Ah, don't move. I think that's gonna work. I need to put a reference mark on the pickup tube. I'm no expert. That feels like a 1/2 inch to 1/4 of an inch. Truth be told, this is not a fun job. Underneath it here, upside down, over your head. But we're gonna get that tacked on there. I think we're within spec. Our cardboard gauge says we're good. These say we're good. Send it. I don't think that's gonna go anywhere. Smells crispy. And we'll do maybe one more on that backside. Not an example of perfect welding, but it is welded. Tack weld there, couple tack welds here. You can see where my grinder touched the housing. I need to come through and clean off everything on here and get it ready to reinstall. Drive shaft, scrape the old gasket, make sure it's clean, and then we figure out how to install that back up under there. This is only gonna fit up here one way. So that's what we're working with. Okay, no, not there. Tiny increments. There. Okay, now, without dropping a whole bunch of stuff, please let this work. Fingers and toes. Oh, damn. Hold on. We gotta get that back where it goes. Okay. Pumps in, pumps in. That line back up, that line back up. You know, a couple safety turns of these threads would be good. Okay, all right, all right. I'm not ready to take my hands off of it yet. Okay, there's a ratchet. Somewhere there's a ratchet. All right. Wow, that's fun. Not. We need to go get a torque wrench. That's installed. Maybe we get a microfiber cloud and clean some of the dirt off from where we've picked it up, put it up. All right, why am I using microfiber and not a blue Scott's towel? Well, the blue Scott's towels come apart and they leave little like pieces of the paper towel in places. And I don't want that. So I need to get a razor blade now and start cleaning up the edges of this mating surface. And after that, I think we're gonna call it a night. So let me go get a razor blade, clean for a little while. I'm very happy with this. This is good progress. All right, I'm gonna go to cleaning town for a while. Pretty cool to see all up in there. I've scraped all the mating surfaces. I've wiped things down with the microfiber cloth. And we're ready for the pan to go back on. Hope there'll be oil pressure when we start it for the first time. We'll find out soon. Today, cleaning, gasketing, more cleaning on the block. Let's get the cleaning done. Time lapse, work. Block clean, pan clean. Let's get on with the chemical part. Blueprint was kind enough to send me what they use to seal these things. Read that, gasket in 1 minute. I'm not this fast. I would love to try this, but I'm gonna fall back on the trusty Permatex. Go through, lay a bead around it, put the gasket on it, put another bead around the top of it, and then we'll slap it up in there. Look at this old thing. We even cleaned this gasket. Clock's ticking now. So let's get this set up and installed. Taking a bit of a breather on that one. That was not fun. I don't care what they say, that was not fun. Had to do it twice, which meant taking it back out, getting some of the goop confined, re-RTVing the critical areas, and then lifting it back up. And then because I didn't fit the pan before I did this, and I should have did this, I'm kind of kicking myself for it. I should have took the pan, the new one, put it under the truck, bolted it on all the way around with no RTV on it to let it shape the pan so it would fit better. So that fought me, but it is on there, and I'm gonna set this torque wrench to 12 foot-pounds, and I'm gonna go around and make sure they're all spec'd. And then I'm gonna eat a snack because my blood sugar is low. I lost my hat on that one. That did not go well. All right, torque spec, let's do it. I would rate this job a solid 7 pitas out of 10 on the scale of pain in the butt, because it's in, it's all torqued. I have no idea if it'll leak, but all the stuff in betwixt, I don't know if you could tell, but our seals didn't bulge out in the wrong way. They didn't look like they scooched in the wrong way. This is hard to show you guys, but doing what I can. And I think we're gonna move on to putting the motor back on its purchase. Here we go, back down. Gentle. Whoop, 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 whoop. Right on the perch, right like it was supposed to. All right, let me make sure there's nothing getting smashed. I see a problem, hold on. Before we get too carried away here, let's get that out of there. Almost smashed the light. Let me make sure the other one's out of the way too. All right, everything else is good. Don't want to do that. How's this one looking? It's pretty close. Pretty close. I apologize for the lawnmower noise. All right, let's go back. All right, I'm pretty thrilled that we got the pan on, the perch bolts, they're in. I don't have the hardware on the back on both sides. We can get, hold on. I think we can get this out of the way. This is a step. This makes me feel like progress. How high is that? Not that high. Let's fold that behemoth up. And then I'm gonna call it a day. Because the pan's in, it's gotta dry for 24 hours. And yeah, I just don't wanna look at this anymore. Having to do the pan twice was pretty terrible. But it's there, I'm very happy that it's there. Hopefully it doesn't leak. Big steps. It's a new day. I'm putting in the dipstick. Gonna make sure all this lines up. It does, that's awesome. Now, because I'm putting that stainless bolt back into that aluminum head, I don't want to forget about this stuff. Make sure these are all nice and clean. And this is the part where I get to look like the Tin Man. No escape. And if you're wondering what it looks like down in here, it's just make sure we're going the right way. Intake bolts, header bolts, do what you can to torque them. This also means after I heat cycle the motor, I'll come back and torque it again. Next, oil filter. Then we can put oil in it. Does anybody else leave their future self hints on these things? But like, what is it? What's the part number? Fresh new filter from Blueprint. Let's put today's date and the mileage. 4/14/25. Let's see what downers say. 92/6/25. These little cheater codes have saved my butt more than a few times. Worth doing. Anybody else use those little cheater things where they write them down? We're gonna use some Blueprint 1030 because Blueprint motor. And it seems to be doing real good with this blue stuff. I'm just excited we're on the reinstall part. This was kind of an unplanned oil change. A little blue. All right. Let's go put it on the truck. All right. It's kind of a this way and that way situation. In there. All right, let's go put the other 6 3/4, or I don't know, there's like 6.5 quarts of oil that we need to put in there. This thing holds 7. There's about 1/2 quart in there. Let's put some oil in it and see if it leaks. Don't lose that. And begin. Now we see if the Permatex has done its job and how good of a job I did putting that pan on. It's another day. Got distracted. A buddy came by, but we did make some progress. Got the starter back in. And if we go up top, a few more things have happened. The spark plugs are out of it. Got the carburetor back on. Spark plugs out of it. They're all over here on the bench. Why in the world are the spark plugs out of it? See this? We had the oil pump off. I want to crank it over, make sure it makes oil pressure before we light it off. So that's where we are. Let's crank it over and make sure it makes oil pressure. And if that works, continue reassembly. Your job here is to watch this in here and make sure nothing bad happens. We do have the MSD ignition unplugged, so it's not gonna do anything. All the spark plugs are out of it. Let's see if it makes oil pressure. Pretty excited about this. Did I forget to turn the power on the cap? Yes, I did. Let's go for a walk. Now it's real. Let's do this. We do have an oil pressure gauge in the truck. It is right there. All right, I hear the fuel pump. That should fill up the carburetor, but we're not using it, so no reason to pump. This tank. All right, I'm gonna let it sit for a second. There it goes. Cool. That's really great. And it'll go back down. Now just for funsies, I'm gonna do it again. Ultra torque starter is awesome. Cool. And with that good news, I also don't see a giant puddle of oil on the floor. Two wins. All right. I want to put those back in there and keep going. I'll update you more when I got more. Another Permatex product, not even sponsored by them. It's just good stuff. Put these on the porcelains around the spark plugs so you can take them on and off. It just makes life easier. And since I'm the 250-pound gorilla that's gotta take this stuff on and off, this stuff is good stuff. Just like putting the anti-seize on the header bolts. No problems. It came off. It's been on there. It's been heat cycled many times since 2023 when I installed the motor. So the stuff works. So anyway, I'm gonna put these wires on and keep plugging away. I know a great way to make sure all the plug wires are in the same place, besides looking at the labels. Let's turn it on. Yeah, I haven't heard it run. Let's make it run for a second. All right, get the combustibles out of the danger zone. Hello, beastie. And now, gotta remember, it's dry. It hasn't ran. There's no fuel that's been in it. And there's no choke. And there's no high idle. So a little bit of foot. Close. Remember that VRS carburetor that we need to keep tuning on? It's making oil pressure though. I've flooded it, so give it a second. I'm really bad at this. Almost. Oh, it wants to live. That's good enough for today. We need to tune that carb a little bit more. And I'll give you my final thoughts on it after we get it back on the road. See you tomorrow. Let's not pancake that new pan. So where I jacked the truck up here is this cross member. And when it slipped off of it, I don't know if we were just too far back or we were just inappropriately positioned, but this, this is where I lift the truck from. I mean, let's just, up we go and get the jack stands out from under it. It is what it is. Very gentle. That's a good milestone. It's back on the ground. I didn't smash the brand new pan. Everything's tightened up, tucked on. I need to get a buddy to help me put a hood on. I'm happy with this. I've got somewhere to be, but we're back on the ground the way it should be. Very exciting. I didn't smash the new oil pan, lowering it. Hope that never happens again. That was dramatic. Anyway, I got somewhere to be. We'll do more in a bit. See you in a bit. It's a new day. It's really bright and sunny outside. And if you notice, this is turned around. Yeah, it's been around the block after having a little bit of oil pressure. So I guess it's time to go for real drive. So let me get set up and we'll go out to the great outside. And I think today we're gonna use the good camera because let's see how that thing works. I'm a complete novice, so this thing is intimidating to me, but we will figure it out. And I think this will be a really good view with that. So let's get this thing outside, go for a drive, make sure it's working, and then we can talk more about that VRS carburetor we were interrupted with before I dented the oil pan. look at it out in the sun. Idling with that good VRS-ness. Let's go for a drive. We're stopped at a stoplight. I just want to thank everybody for watching me make progress, watching me make mistakes, watching me learn from them, supporting me along the way. Thank you guys so much. I think we are back to rock and roll. We have oil pressure, good vacuum, good temp, full tank of gas. I'm having a great day. I hope you guys have a great day. Let's go find some 2 lanes. I'm already mentally in such a good place for this today. This could be a good day, guys. Let's just go for a drive today, guys. And then at the end of it, we'll talk about the VRS and my thoughts. What do y'all think? Go hit some 2 lanes. It was a beautiful day for a 700 horsepower Action Line C10. I felt so confident in my fix, I got off the 2 lanes and went looking for an interstate. Sorry, I had to calculate the brain chippers. Let's give these guys some room. They're not going fast enough to get on the interstate. See what I mean? Alright, let's hope the chassis is good. Top gear, obviously. It's a little squirrely on interstate speeds. We might have to get QA1 right. Cow tracks don't fight too hard on the interstate. Pass with ease. Been here before, but we're not broke down this time. But see our AFR right there, 12.5, 13 to 1. We're gonna take a little bit out of it. I got a screwdriver and pliers because VRS. It's pretty good when it ain't broke down and thrown a belt here. Sounds good. Listen to it. And we'll be back here for C10 Nationals. Let's take a look at this. Perfect. Love it. All right, let's put the air cleaner back on and get out of here. It's so good not to be broke down here today, but this is running good. Let's go see if it's any better on the road. And for those of you wondering, it's still very crispy, but there's no need to spin super hard today. Much better AFR. And if we put it in gear, oh yeah, I like that. I'm very happy. Let's continue driving. And this, yeah. All right, we're gonna leave it alone. I'm convinced. Just leave it alone for the day, because nice tip in, predictable. I'm very happy with that. My thoughts on the VRS. It's a fun carburetor. Is it a bespoke carburetor? No. Is it equal to a bespoke carburetor? Probably not. But there is a lot of development that's been done on it, and it works really well. And there's so much to change on it. You could fiddle with it for a very long time. I'm gonna keep fiddling with it. I'm very happy with what it is right now because it's snappy. Great throttle response. The tip-in is all right. The idle is good. Having the ability to adjust so much to like tailor it, it's a fantastic piece of kit. Do I like it more than EFI? Yeah. I'm not fighting the laptop. It's not closed loop, on and off, triggering, bad sensor. The list goes on and on. I'm in it, I'm driving it around. It's a wonderful day. And that makes me really happy. Nice Jag. That is a clean looking Jag. Yeah. I am thrilled at how good this thing is running. We made it back. No crazy things happened other than me messing with a carburetor. This did really good. What do y'all think of this camera? It's a very different image, but I like it. Anyway, I'm gonna go in, get a snack. See you guys in a little while. After that snack, I slept some, and I tried to think, are there any problems besides traction? And there is one. I think you'd agree. It only lasts for a few seconds compared to the entire experience. There is no choke and no fast idle on a cold start, which means I have to deal with situations like this. I don't know if you guys can hear every leaf blower in the neighborhood right now, but they're at it. My turn. That ain't warm. Let's just roll back. Dude, it's kicking butt. The VRS is fantastic. It's running really good, and I am so thrilled that the oil's in it, brakes are working, just a good drive today. What do you think? Final thoughts on VRS. Very simple. Street truck or race truck, great carb. Is it petite? I don't think so. But man, you can do a lot with it, and that makes it really good. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for sharing. I will see you guys in the next one, and I'll continue to do things that happen. I'm Gorm of Gormworks. I'm out.